Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 2021 annual meeting of the Country Club of Salisbury. I will now call the meeting to order. I'll call on the treasurer, Mark Robinson, to certify that we have a quorum.
This is Mark Robertson, and I have been informed we do have enough for a quorum, so we can certify the vote. And do we have this tally yet? We have 80 for the quorum, so we are good to go.
I can hardly hear that. I can hardly hear that.
We'll have the approval of the 2020 annual minutes. There's a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Motion approved. So the minutes are now a part of history for 2020. At this point, it gives me great pleasure to have a few comments about the state of union, so to speak, at the Country Club of Salisbury. First of all, I'd like to acknowledge the 2020 Board of Directors. Vice President Brad Grady, Secretary, we had dual secretaries this year, Missy Alcorn and Diane Fisher. Treasurer Mark Robinson, board members Brandon Williams, Kim Davis, Lee Frick, Andre Resner, John Kiger, and Jay Steve. Board members that will be leaving this year: Brad, Missy, Brandon, Andre, and Diane. So the board will be replacing 3 new members, of which those proxies are already in, and they will be voted on at the board of directors meeting later tonight. But what I wanted to talk about more than that was what happened this year. We started off in 2021 with a great New Year's Eve party for all of you that were here. It was a wonderful event. You know, and in January, the board met, and the board developed a strong, solid, cohesive, visionary plan for the club in this coming year. What happened next? In the February board meeting, we had a new member show up, COVID-19, and that changed everything. COVID-19 not only made us here at the club, but throughout the state and the nation and globally, rethink how you do business, rethink how you deliver commodities, plans, activities. We operated under ever-changing regulatory mandates, both from the federal government and the state government. But the good part through all this is that we were able to operate and stabilize during our COVID-19 time. The consolidation of club services actually got better. It increased during COVID-19. It became more personalized. You were not only able to call in and come and pick up, but you had somebody deliver it to your car. Think about that. We tried to keep the club services open for all members. Our finances we stayed in a positive position for 2021, which is remarkable. When you think about this, we had reduced capacity, but all of our services were on target. They were on mark, and that helped us to keep our finances in a workable position. So we finished the year on a positive note. Not to mention, We had an encouraging membership drive in 2020. Think about this. Times of the whole pandemic, we were able to recruit new members here to the club, new people to be part of the family, new people to take part of the vision, new people that have great ideas that contribute to the club in general. So what does that mean? For the pool, pavilion, tennis facilities, food, beverage, golf, practice area, all the food and beverage, all the things that are important to you as a member of Salisbury, the Country Club of Salisbury, that's here for you. So in kind of a wrap up, we have a vision for 2021. You'll hear more about this in the Centennial campaign. Victor Wallace is going to walk us through that. But the refresh, renew, and repurpose not only has to do with the interior of the club, the footprint of the platform, but it has to do with the membership. It has to do with the activity, and it has to do with you. The lifeline of this club is you, the members. The more active you are, the more input you have, the more we accomplish here at the Country Club of Salisbury. It's a unique place. It offers so many different opportunities. And I'm grateful for the 3 years that I've served on the board here that as president. So I want to thank you all for the help that you've given me. I want to thank you for what I've been able to take away from this. It's been a good year, and I know that 2021 will offer more opportunities to complete that vision that we started in 2020. Thank you. At this point, I will call on our controller, Tina Filbert, to give the financial report.
2020 was supposed to be a year of celebration for us as we celebrated our 100th year. COVID did not allow us to do the celebration, but the year that could have been disastrous for us actually became very positive. Our consolidated income statement of operations shows a loss of almost $15,000. Our board was proactive in the month of August and did a COVID relief assessment, but it was a COVID to bring us to a positive. At that point in time, we had thought we were still going to be able to do our banquets and a few tournaments that ended up getting canceled because of COVID. But it brought us to, we raised $82,000 through the COVID relief assessment, brought us to $15,000 loss. However, our department heads were very instrumental in saving money. Our board also directed, when we knew that the COVID was here to stay for a while, to our department heads were told that if you need to spend money, spend it. Don't do anything that's detrimental to the services that we're providing, but if you can save it, save it. Our grounds crew come through for us. Their savings was 4.2% of their budget. They were able to save, but still keep the course open and functional for you. In the G&A department, we were able to trim almost 6% of our expenses and still keep the offices open and functioning for you. Our tennis department became the star, and Corey cut 28% of his expenses, again, but still provided exceptional services to the membership. Tennis had a phenomenal year. We did not qualify for any of the Paycheck Protection programs because we are under a 501c7. However, in November, North Carolina, as part of the CARES Act, started issuing job retention grants. And to qualify for a job retention grant, you had to maintain 90% of your payroll and have a loss of at least 10% of your revenues. We qualified for all of that. We did apply. We did not know that we would be able to receive it because it was a limited amount of money. The maximum grant was $250,000. In December, we were allotted and awarded the $250,000 maximum grant for the job retention. This money was previously spent to cover payroll expenses, but it did put us in a positive cash position. So for the year 2020, with the stimulus package, we have a profit of $235,000 in our operations.
Thank you, Tina. That's really amazing in the midst of this pandemic, the financial stability that we've been able to achieve and work with. At this point, I would like to call on Clubhouse Manager Frank O'Hara to deliver his year-end remarks. Frank?
Thank you. Thank you and welcome virtually. What a year, right, to say the least. 2020, what I thought was going to start as a celebratory year, mark the 100th anniversary of the club, and my observation period set goals for the year that quickly turned into an attempt to stabilize operations, daily efforts on how to forge through this pandemic. What we thought would last for weeks or maybe months turned out to be much longer than expected, as we still continue today to navigate through this. Many factors came into play during all of this. I mean, food and beverage was a plethora of ideas to help bring in revenues, and while still cutting expenses, maintaining a safe environment for staff and members. I remember watching the phone calls roll in as banquets and events would cancel one by one, thinking we were finally getting on solid ground, and then to realize we were really backtracking more than we were pressing forward. To close the year, we've lost roughly over $220,000 just on the banquet revenue line, which is obviously pretty detrimental to any operation. But with staff dedication, willingness to think outside the box, we're actually able to mitigate the damage as best as possible, and in turn ended up saving roughly $117,000 in expenses in the food and beverage department alone. But during this time, there was no need to slow down. We kept pushing forward. We were able to hire an executive chef who came in and wowed select board members through the interview process. We finally began to implement this capital improvement plan and set a course of action. We're able to host a few events in between some of these downtimes, and they were actually pretty well attended by the membership and well reviewed. So we pat ourselves on the back for that. The culinary team in front of house, they were kind of eager to kind of take this next step in the renovation process that we will get into a little bit later in this program. We continue to strive forward. The initiatives set forth from last year, team culture and member engagement, are still at the forefront of what we want to do. We will not lose focus on that. Unfortunately, with the COVID pandemic, things obviously shifted in a different direction. While the food and beverage department suffered, other departments thrived. The golf, with an increased number of members on the golf course, coming off a record number in 19, actually able to top that by almost 3,000 rounds from last year. It did bring many challenges to the operation, trying to keep a safe environment for the members to enjoy the game, provide a safe staff environment. COVID had a detrimental impact on our outside events and guest play. With less guest play and cancellations of outside groups, revenues were below budget. Still clinging to the hope of the October-November tournaments that would kind of right that ship for us. As the year went on, we were able to cover some of those revenues, and a few highlights from the golf department in that area is we had the addition of John Henson down in the pro shop, who has really stepped in with David Donovan's departure and really has taken a grip on that pro shop operation. We did re-sign a lease on our fleet of golf carts. So now we have the lithium battery golf carts, and those are in a brand new state. Golf rounds, huge growth, 10% over last year, 55% over 2018. For the second year in a row, we tracked everybody that participated in all events and awarded points on a participation scale. The bigger and more prestigious events, the more points and the more participation and finishing. For example, the weekly stag nights were valued little in comparison to, say, the club championship. The point system determines the club's player of the year, and we are proud to announce that the 2020 player of the year was Mr. Victor Wallace. This is Mr. Wallace's second player of the year award. The golf team's excited for 2020, be in the rearview mirror, getting ready for 2021. Golf calendar looks to be great. We have over 20 member events, and we'll host my first member guest here at the Country Club of Salisbury. From the grounds point of view this year, again, daunting on everyone. Between the 83 inches of rain and the COVID pandemic, the course was in the best shape that I think it's been in a very long time. We were able to relieve the wear and tear for the months of record-setting rounds and single rider carts and the impact that provided. But we put protocols in place to make that, again, enjoyable and safe for the membership and staff alike. They tackled a few major projects this year. So far, up to 38 trees removed from the course, 2 new tee boxes, trees, and more trees, erosion control, and then a record number of floods on the course. So implemented some drainage systems as well. Golf staff feels it's the best year, most successful year with their bent grass greens. The weather, although treacherous and unforgiving with the rain, gave us breaks in the temperature and allowed for the summertime for the bent grass greens to really thrive through that. Tennis department, another great way for our members to get out and enjoy the outdoors during the pandemic. Saw a record number of participation out there as well. They are up 173% participation from last year. A lot of due to thanks to Corey's amazing programming and court presence out there on the courts. Tennis staff was able to create an environment, again, just like everybody else, that was safe and enjoyable. We added an additional maintenance staff member to help Corey out through those months as well. And unfortunately, Corey is vacating, as most are aware, and we wish him the best of luck in his endeavors, and we will wish him the best as he travels off to Arizona. Membership side was a positive note through 2021, or through 2020. We maintained, we actually came out net positive. The membership drive for 5 landed us 28 new members. We're currently sitting at 445 members and equivalent to 308 full members. I look forward to 2021 and all that's going to be entailed in that. Super excited to get things underway and going, and very humbled and appreciative to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Well, certainly congratulations to you, all of the members of the club, for making this year such a successful year. We wouldn't have been able to have this positive activity had it not been for your support. So I want to thank you again. So at this point, we will move over to the Percy Award. Now, this award is given each year, and without a doubt, it's probably one of the most prestigious award. It is the most prestigious award here at the club, because it has to do with support. It has to do with stewardship. It has to do with how the individual, not only in the activities, but just as the person, as the self, what he gives. This year, I'm just happy and pleased to announce that the winner of the Percy Award, Frank Eason. Frank, congratulations. You do so much out here at the club, and you are one of the most deserving members. You and Nancy do so much, and I can't thank you enough. And I want to congratulate you on the dedication and your support. So thank you, Frank, and we'll look forward to seeing you out here. Okay, now we will move off to the election of the new director. I'll ask our treasurer, Mark Robinson, to come back again and certify the vote.
I am happy to report that we can certify the vote and that all three director nominees were nominated and did win election. So Mike Doran, excuse me, Delane Fowler, and who was our third? Ames Litt. I'm sorry, wasn't prepared for this part, but anyway, they are our new board members. So thank you guys for willing to serve, and we will actually have a meeting after this. So if we may have to do it virtually, but we will see you guys soon.
Thank you, Mark. I want to say thank you and congratulations to the new board members. I know that you've thought a lot about the responsibility, and you know, I know that this coming year will be a benchmark for this club, and I'm happy that you're going to be a part of the decision-making process. Well, with that, we move into to old business. Is there any old business to be discussed other than Victor's two-time club champion? If any no old business, we will move into new business. And with new business, there's the acknowledgement. John Kiker has an acknowledgement of the soon-to-be president.
Soon-to-be ex-president. Just want to say to David, board service is one of the toughest volunteer roles of all for everybody. Serving as president, you perform with dedication and tenacity. You've been an integral part, and you've been integral to the important advances we've made at the club. A famous activist once said, "Wisdom is knowing what to do, virtue is doing it." You proved to be both wise and virtuous. I'm sure all the board members would like to say thank you.
Sir, I'd like to present you with your favorite red wine of all. I thank you for welcoming me first year on this job. You've been tried and true, and I appreciate all you've done.
Thank you very much. I thank you, John, for those kind remarks. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Number 8, Schooner. I can tell you I started back when it was number 3, and I've been with it now through 8. So I highly recommend Wagner Family Wine, mainly because my son is the global vice president of Wagner Family, and I don't get many samples, but this one I'll enjoy. So thank you. Now, this part of the meeting we're going to talk about the renovation plan. This part of the meeting has to do with the vision that has been on, this plan has been ongoing for over a year. And this process has brought us to this point. And the Centennial Committee has put together a presentation that's going to be delivered by Victor. And it's going to be something to see it unfold. And as I leave this the board this year, serving as president, I just want to say that I hope next year I'll be able to look back and see the building process that this board started. And I know that the new board is going to be even more involved in this process. But it's going to be it's a visionary process that will be unlike anything that we've undertaken here at the club in its current modern history. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Frank, and we will work on that. Thank you.
Thank you, David. I will try to keep this as short-winded as possible. There is a lot to cram in to this small presentation. But if we start back and how this was identified, was a survey to the membership to tackle their top priorities of capital improvements. Through that survey came out that the priority one was a casual dining space with an upgraded kitchen equipment and facility. Priority 2 was a exterior patio off of the main dining room, and priority 3 was to upgrade the pool facilities. So we took that information and started to kind of make a trend towards putting all of those plays into action. To address anything upstairs and the main level of the clubhouse in regards to dining, we first had to look at the kitchen. The kitchen has been the same equipment for the past 27 years, and it shows. Those guys in the back have a hard time maintaining the integrity of the food that they provide with some of the equipment that is currently in the building. So the Centennial campaign was kind of brought to light to kind of source funds for the COVID or for the capital items and other improvements needed around the club. With wanting about a $2.8 million dedicated group of members kind of hit the street and began the source funding to be able to provide this capital improvement for the clubhouse. We are now poised in a position to begin what we are going to call phase 1 of the interior clubhouse renovation plan. So as I walk through this, you'll see the renovation and kind of diagram plan of the top level of the clubhouse. Starting majorly in the kitchen, which would be kind of the phase 1 of what this is. To replace that equipment in there, we're going to expand that kitchen to be able to provide a better service, a little more moving space, banquet plate up space, and get some of this antiquated, outdated equipment and repurpose and refill that area. With that comes this casualized dining space in the main dining room. We will add new tabletops, new furniture, kind of make this more of a casualized dining space that will be enticing and inviting to the membership. And we are going to remove and add the bar into the dining room by removing the hallway wall and that corridor wall. And now the bar will become part of the main dining room as to bring that energy and really give it a restaurant type feel. So that is kind of the step 2 of this scenario. Step 3, again, would be that bar area where we'll imply some seating in there. We're going to expand that bar so that we're doubling the bar capacity. So that will end up hopefully being the energy within this building that then drives the focal point back into the main dining room and really creates an environment that is privy for the membership. And then we're also in this first phase going to address the main foyer and entryway. This will entail redoing the parquet floors, all new ceilings, floors, electrical, new lighting, up through the foyer and into the hallway. So that way we are encompassing about 65% of the square footage in the upstairs of the club. We will start with this phase as the campaign continues to grow and continues to mobilize, and we capture some more of that some fund sourcing. We will then continue to improve down into the library areas, restrooms, admin offices, and in the ballroom. But currently for phase one, we are looking into the kitchen, main dining room, bar area, and then, like I said, the foyer and hallway. This is a proposed look at what a visual would be from the main dining room into the bar. So you can kind of visualize how the energy will spill over from room to room instead of having that wall as a barrier and kind of separating those two entities. So what's next, right? I've sent out a few communications in regards to this, and we've secured the funding to begin phase one. The project has some unforeseen delays. I know we stated a February 1 proposed start date. That will now be slated back just a little bit, and we will close the grill room and the upper level of the club starting February 13th. And then the grill room will remain closed for roughly 45 days. The reason being for that is in order to redo the upstairs kitchen, we will have to come up through the ceiling of the downstairs grill room kitchen in order to do that. So that facility will be closed for roughly 45 days from mid-February to the end of March. The F&B team has put together quite a number of ideas and thoughts to kind of give you some dining opportunities during that time. On Saturdays and Sundays, we're going to bring the grill out to the patio, and we'll do burgers and dogs and grilled chicken and things of that nature that we can produce out there. We've got the take and bakes up and running again. We're bringing the pop-up market back in action with some new ideas and some new items on there. We're going to do a low country boil night. We looked at doing fried chicken night out back and dropping it in a pot fryer. And we're going to do some food trucks and get some food trucks out here and kind of still provide the amenity of food and beverage, although we will be rendered down to really what's involved in the pool house kitchen down there. We are still on target to open and reopen for June 1. So we're looking roughly at 100-day closure. But we're excited. This is going to be a really great thing. I'm happy to be a part of this movement, and I'm eager to get this started and underway. So we look forward to that. And with that, I would like to bring Mr. Victor Wallace up and talk to you about the Centennial Campaign.
Thank you, Frank. I think you can all see that we're in very good hands with Frank's management and a great team on the board that has worked tirelessly to make this a better place and make this a safe place. I think one thing we haven't talked about tonight is how this has been a safe place to come during this entire pandemic, to play golf, to swim, to tennis, to eat. You can bring your children, you can bring your grandchildren. So with that said, the Centennial Campaign is something that was actually kicked off about a little over a year ago. And Missy Alcorn, Diane Fisher, and myself are co-chair. in order to effectuate the plans that Frank just went over, and actually many other plans. So there were three main sources of problems here. One, the kitchen, one, sort of a dysfunctional dining room, and the third thing is the pool. And there's some major problems with the pool and the plumbing, and all these came to light after a full inspection of the facilities about 2 years ago by Diane and Missy. So they identified, and we as a group identified, about $2.8 million worth of deferred maintenance, equipment, parking lots, pool things, the kitchen, and the dining room. So that stimulated this energy, which came forth in 2019. And in that, the fall of 2019, Missy, Diane, and I started contacting. First, we got board approval to have the Centennial campaign. Then we went out and reached out to numerous families, and dozens. And we had other people reaching out too. The board was very cooperative. I believe everyone on the board has contributed to show support for this, but we met with dozens and dozens of families and found great interest and great support. So out of the 2.8 million, we have raised 1.1 million to be contributed over the next 3 years. These are families that have really bought into why they love this place, and they want to see it succeed, and they want to see it better. We think we can be better. Even as good as we've been, we really feel like we can be better. So we started this campaign in late 2019, and of course 2020 we were charging ahead, had all kinds of appointments, and had a lot of appointments and kept them. But as March came around, it became obvious that we could not continue on the path we were on. It was very uncomfortable talking to people when all of us were starting to worry about, getting COVID and getting really sick. So we suspended the campaign, the Centennial Capital Campaign in March. So you probably haven't heard too much about it. But in the meantime, we were developing, frankly, we were meeting for months and months and months working on the plans, because we needed great planning on this. If you move walls, if you change plumbing, air conditioning, electrical, lighting, everything ties together. So when you start moving walls around, it gets complicated and it's very expensive. So with that, we have raised a significant amount of money. Families have given $25,000, $30,000, $50,000. We have a number of families that have given $100,000. So these folks are really interested in seeing these projects succeed. They're multiple, they're going to take years to do, but now it's time for the entire membership to be presented with this idea to refresh, renew, and repurpose. Refreshing, we're just changing out wallpapers and surfaces, ceilings and floors. Renewing, we've got to renew the kitchen. We've got to renew the pool. And repurposing, we want to repurpose the dining room, what we call our formal dining room. We want to make it more casual. We want to have, instead of so much the food operation is in the grill room that was built to be a turn house, that'll become more casual. And we'll have our better dining upstairs, and it'll be more fun. It's going to be a lot more interesting place where we'll have the bar integrated into the restaurant area. So now we're going to start the Centennial campaign back up again. We have a lot of energy. We've met. We're going to start calling people. We're going to roll this out to all of you and give you the opportunity to be great stewards of this fantastic asset that we all use and we all love, and has been a safe haven, frankly, for many of us, that wouldn't have, other places to go, a safe place to eat, a safe place to recreate, a safe place to socialize. So it's terribly important. So we do have a video that we want to play. And Frank, I'm going to ask you to roll that video.
We're almost there.
Please bear with us.
Please stand by.
Am I still on?
Mhm.
I'll have to throw a few more things in there that I want.
We're getting there. Why this is. It's because this damn meeting. If you can, technical difficulty. I can't.
Please bear with us. We're having technical difficulties.
Virtual meetings, you just never know.
You just never know, of course.
Pull up the
Ad
play bar.
lib.
Here goes.
I mean, do we want to start this?
We'll just send you the membership.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably best. We'll send it tomorrow. I've got a few.
If it doesn't play this time. All right.
Well, we, so, yeah.
We'll send it out tomorrow.
Sorry about that. Whenever you try something a little different, it doesn't always work, and we're not technology professionals yet. But in any case, we will be sending that video. It's a really nice video, kind of encompassing all the ideas that we have about the Centennial Capital Campaign and how important it is to the life of this social organization. Several things I'd like to add, since that didn't come through, is the question always comes up: why should I give? Why should I give my money to y'all? And I wrote down a few things that are at least important to me. Number one is love of place. This is a place where you celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, wedding receptions, some of the most important things in your life. So, you know, this is a place that brings those moments together. Love of family. This is where many of us have worked with our children, our fathers, our grandchildren, played golf, tennis, swim. So that is a incredibly powerful reason to make sure that this place is in great shape and meets our needs. Love of friends. This is where you have social interactions with your best friends, and what a great place to do it, whether you're on the back patio or you're out playing one of the sports or down at the pool. So those are great reasons. We really need for every member to buy into this in whatever capacity you're able to. And we think going forward that we can accomplish a lot. We'll do as much as the monies donated allow us to. Again, we've had 1.1 million, and we've only really talked to 50 of our 450 members. So we're very hopeful that that this will work out. We can only do as much as funds allow. We would dearly love to build the back terrace off the back of the dining room. That's a pretty large number. It's $400,000 or $500,000, but we think we can get there. And we're going to be showing you pictures and artwork that we've done of that design, and it'll be shown in that video that we'll send out to all the members. So again, thank you for your time. I'm sorry the video didn't work out. We'll be emailing it to you, so please watch it. And rest assured, me or someone on my committee or co-chairs or other people will be contacting you and asking you to participate, because we're going to make this place terrific. And I just hope everybody has the same vision, and I think we do. So thank you very much. And we'll see you around Country Club of Salisbury.
Thank you, Victor. That was a great presentation, and it talked about the ongoing lifeblood of the club. And it's only going to happen if you support this and if you help us with the planning and the progress. As Victor said, this is a great place and a great time to be a member of Country Club of Salisbury. So with that, we will move on to the question and answer portion of the annual meeting. For those of you who are online virtually, you'll notice that there's a little question bubble up on the menu screen, top right. Speech, a speech bubble. So for those of you who have questions, if you click on that bubble, then that will link you in, and we'll take the question and answer. So we'll give it another 30 seconds or so, a minute, see if, I know it's a lot to take in tonight. And this is, I will say this has been a successful virtual meeting. You know, it's delivered all the pertinent information that membership needs. So with that, we will end the question and answer portion, as there were no questions. And it will be my pleasure to adjourn this meeting. We can adjourn. I will now call to order. Well, we have to